on. Welcome to Alltech Lansing.
The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. Bears. Back down the middle is intercepted. D.J. Moore. Overthrows and intercepted for D.J. Moore. We'll see you back. Searching for the thrill of it. Takes the snap from his own end zone, lines up, throws, in traffic, it is deflected, picked up by D.J. Moore, off the 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Bears, D.J. Moore, pick six.
You are tuned in to the Chris and DJ Show with former Chicago Bears nickelback D.J. Moore.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Chris and DJ Show. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld. He is former Chicago Bears defensive back DJ Moore. And
oh boy!
Yeah, DJ. I mean, the sky is falling down. The Bears are below 500. They're 3-4 to start the season after getting off to a 3-1 start. They've dropped 3 in a row. The latest being a 17-16 loss against the struggling Los Angeles Chargers, another team that a lot of people had pretty high expectations for in the AFC. They moved to 3-5 now, while the Bears are now 3-4. This one hurt, DJ. This one hurt, especially coming off that loss against the New Orleans Saints last week, the very beaten-up New Orleans Saints last week, whose arrow only seems to be pointing upward from here, and now taking this loss against another, really just a struggling team, a team that has not reached their expectations, kind of like the Bears this season and the Los Angeles Chargers. They come to Chicago, they come to Soldier Field, coming from the West Coast, so this was like a 9-10 o'clock game to them. And they end up squeaking out the victory 17-16. There were some positives in for the Bears this game. I mean, the defense certainly, we sound like a broken record. I mean, it wasn't a dominant performance by the defense by any means, but they only allowed 17 points. That's a game that, right then and there, that's a game that you should win. You should win if you only give up 17 points. And unfortunately, here we are again talking about the struggles of the offense. They go 0 for 11, DJ, in the red zone. They've had so many opportunities, and when you have 11 opportunities and you can't get in the end zone not once of those 11 opportunities near the goal line, you certainly don't deserve to win the ball game, looking at it from an offensive standpoint. And then you had Mitch Trubisky. Unfortunately, another struggling week for him. Missing a wide open Anthony Miller and Taylor Gabriel on one point, in which Taylor Gabriel broke away from Thomas Davis and had a clear shot to the end zone. Mitch Trubisky overthrew him for about 5 yards there in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, the offense did set up the special teams. Eddie Pinheiro, kicker, for a 41-yard field goal. And unfortunately, he missed his second field goal of the game. Double doinked, or he doinked the first one, hit it off the goal post earlier in the game, and to set up the game winner, 41 yards out from the left hash. He ends up missing it. 17-16. Bears lose at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, DJ, it seems as if the sky is falling down here in Chicago. Again, I mean, it's been, even looking away from the Bears, I mean, looking at what the Cubs, the Sox, the Bulls have gotten off to a shaky start. The Blackhawks are off to a shaky start. It's not a great sports season and not a great sports year for the Chicago fan. And the Bears, this loss certainly hurts. Again, the sky seems to be falling down. A lot of people are calling for the jobs of Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky and Eddie Pinheiro now. I mean, again, with an opportunity to win the ball game. A few weeks back, he won the game and was the hero against the Denver Broncos. Now he's, now not too many people are going after him too harshly because how many opportunities they had on the offensive side of the ball. But, we'll dive more into this game, DJ, just some of my overview thoughts. Again, I think I said on last week's show, I wasn't going to pick the Bears until I seen something out of this team. And again, unfortunately, another letdown performance in this one to fall against the Chargers. Now they're 3-4 in a very tough NFC North Conference. The Vikings seem to be pointing upward. The Green Bay Packers are still dominating as they get a big victory at Kansas City. Bears are now last in this division behind all three, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit. And it's going to be pretty tough to get this thing turned around. Your overall thoughts, DJ? Bears dropped 3 in a row. Bears dropped their first 2 out of the bye against New Orleans and now Los Angeles. And here they are now sitting 3-4, 8 weeks into the season.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom a little bit. Now, did I expect us to be really good on offense and Trubisky to come out and do anything? Personally, I didn't. You know what I mean? I think everybody else did. I know they had a couple of, man, he's going to be the MVP. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. And they were doing that really based on, hey, man, Matt Nagy, he's a pretty much, they called him, he the new, what is that? He new guru, new genius, offensive genius. And
Sean McVay 2.0.
Yeah, we giving him out fast. And I think, even though I think Trubisky has some flaws, I think it's, to me, and just as I watch film and everything, I think his play calling and decision making is, to me, is like what's holding it back. Now, you can have a good player who goes out there and just makes everything right for you because that's what, they supposed to do. But in certain situations, it's it's just obvious. Or, Tariq Cohen, he's in. What are they going to do? Oh, surprise is a screen. Or Patterson in, surprise is a gadget play. Or Cohen, a gadget play. Like, you almost know the offense based on the person. There's no mix-up in it at all. I watched one play, I think it was like 3rd and 12. And it happened a couple of times. Everybody would run past 12 yards. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, he don't even have an outlet if he did need to dump it down. And then again, we would do, like, we did that play, and then we did that play again and got a first down, and then we did it again. It seemed like in the same situation, we run the exact same plays, if that makes sense. What he said, 3-5, we lost to the Raiders, and we bought to both teams from LA, the new teams down that way. It's hard to fathom. I remember saying to you probably about a week ago, like, if you lose to the Chargers, man, I don't know. Because it's not just because, you don't have a chance and you don't have the defense to do something. It's just like the teams get harder. Now, I've been on a couple bad teams. It seemed like every year we would start about 8-1 or 8-2 and end up swimming up creek without a paddle. So it can go both ways. But if you can't consistently score over 20 points or close to 30 points when your defense don't allow too many people to get, over 20 points, it's gonna be tough. Do you got time to fix it? Yeah, but man, we've been saying the same story. We got to get it right. And I think what's gonna happen now is what makes it harder to get it right is people gonna start pointing fingers. It's gonna happen. Who is it? It's one of y'all. Who is it?
In the words of Matt Nagy, somebody needs to step the fuck up, DJ. This is the defense. Well, again, they got off to a really hot start. Again, they're still playing as one of the top defenses in the league, despite only 11 turnovers though up to this point in the season. Kyle Fuller with an interception Sunday against Phillip Rivers. This is still a defense that you can win and that you can go far with. You just need a competent offense. And unfortunately, this Bears offense isn't even competent, and a lot of that has to do with, of course, Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky, who we've been harping on all season long. Now, credit to the running game. Matt Nagy, 7 runs total against the New Orleans Saints. He says, hey, I'm not an idiot. I know I need to run the ball more, and he did do just that against the Chargers on Sunday. David Montgomery, 27 rushes, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Needless to say, that's a career high in touches and yards for him. He was really the main back. We did see a little bit of the run DMC, David Montgomery, Mike Davis, and Tariq Cohen. I think Davis had a couple of carries out there. Cohen did as well. So the running game was in fact a big factor in this one, and I'll make the argument that they probably could have ran the ball even a little bit more, especially there towards the end of the ball game, DJ. Let's get your take as a former player, a player's point of view on this, DJ. So 40 seconds left in the game. The Bears are at it would have been like a 39-yard field goal for Eddie Pinheiro to win the ball game. They decide to take a knee and drain the clock until there's about a second or two left so that the field goal would be the final play of the game. A lot of people are giving Nagy and the Bears a lot of crap for that. Why aren't you trying to get closer? Why aren't you, at least if you're not confident in your quarterback, why aren't you running the ball with your bell cow running back, at least for that game, David Montgomery, who had a lot of success, who was really tearing the Chargers defense up? Why aren't you giving him the ball 1 or 2 more times to try and make Eddie Pinheiro's job a little bit easier? And of course, it's always easier to look at it after the fact, and it wound up being a quarterback knee, which made it a 41-yard field goal in which Eddie Pinheiro ended up missing, very close. But your take on the fact that Nagy and the Bears decided to knee the ball, drain the clock down without giving the offense a chance to move forward, and does that hurt the offense's confidence? Does that say, hey, why doesn't our coach have confidence that we'll be able to move the ball a few more yards up the field?
It's hard to say, really, because you're in a situation that an NFL kicker should be able to convert in. Now, at the same time, like, he's been through a lot. I mean, he's battled through a lot. Through the competition of the 14 kickers, through injury. So he's had a lot on his plate, and to this point, he's kind of, he's kind of delivered. I think as a coach and as a player, I think you got to realize too that early in the game he had missed one. So my confidence is already down, because if I'm a kicker and if I miss a kick, man, it's like, as a soccer player, it's like having an own goal. Like, it's terrible because that's all I do is kick. So you got to understand that, like mentally, like, I've already missed, I'm already missed a kick. So if you can get it closer and make it a chip shot, then, you do that. What down was it? Was it third down?
Yeah, there was actually second down when they kicked it. So, I mean,
now, if
that's another
down,
factor.
I think, because I think you run it and see, like, okay, did I get any yards? If I didn't, you know what? I'll kick it on third down, because I can't risk dropping back, either getting kicked out of field goal range, or some of that nature. We talked about it before we got on now, and I think Pinheiro said, is it Pinheiro?
Yes.
He wanted it on the right hash. Now, early in the game, he missed it on the left hash, correct? We looked it up. Against the Broncos, he kicked the game winner from the right hash. So he just has a problem with, like, his depth perception of, hey, listen, like, if I'm on the right hash, the way that my right leg works is when I hit it and hook it, it's going to hook this way, and then, boom, it should be straight on point. I think it's probably an easier kick for a kicker, because if you're on the left side, it's at a different angle. And I've kicked field goals a couple times. It's hard. It's harder than it looked. But on second down with 41 seconds, to me, I would have probably ran it. Now, if he would have told me the right hash, and I don't know what happened, now we got to find a way to get it on the right hash. But this is where you do your little run DMC thing. Put Davis in, because I don't. Even though Montgomery has had a real good game, I'm not gonna put him in that situation because he's not used to like people just always let me get the ball, because he runs really hard, but he always runs the ball in his left hand and he never kind of tucks it away. You put in a veteran running back with a little weight on him, boom, run through the line hard as you can, lean on him, get us to the right hash. If we get a little bit closer, great. If we can't, then on the second one, we need a ball we already on, the hash we need to be on. That's really the big question right there. It's like, because even what he did was fine. If you kick it on second down, he hit the field goal, it don't matter. But man, he said he wanted it. And he told the coach where he wanted. Because listen, there's a process. You always ask the kicker, where do you want to kick from? What do you feel comfortable kicking from? And you know how we know we asked the kickers that? Because remember in the first game, it was a field goal that was like, you know what? We talked to him before the game. We thought he wasn't going to be comfortable from this distance. So we know you're detailed enough to ask your kicker about where he's comfortable from. I know you detail-oriented enough to understand that, hey, early in the game, I missed it from the left hash. And I know you understand that in the previous game, when I kicked it, it was from the right hash. Now, I haven't seen all these field goals. I'm sure the runs from the right hash look probably dead money on, normally better than the ones on the left hash. You know what I mean? So you have to understand this. It's an analytics game. Like, you know what I mean? I'm assuming right leg kickers probably miss more field goals from the left hash than they do the right hash. I don't have the numbers, but to me, it makes sense. If I'm I gave you the net before when I bowl, I'm normally to the right side because I'm going to let my ball hook to catch it on the, the little strike zone. And if I'm left, it's the opposite way. Like, you understand that. Now, Pinheiro, does he have to hit the kick? Hell yeah. If he didn't even have a holder, if he had to hold the kick himself, I'm expecting you to have to hit the kick. Like, and you can't take no heat off him because, like, you're a professional. Like, this is how Robbie Gould made his name, man. In Chicago, like, if you're a good kicker, man, like, put it through when you need to put it through. Even if we got outplayed, whatever it is, you can make everything right for a couple of minutes. And he didn't do it. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. When I watched it, and really the telltale sign was the goal line thing, the goal line stance. I think after the interception, I think it was 3 or 4 plays in a row. It seemed like of just passes. Like even on 4th down, I think it was another one too. It was another goal line stand too, right?
Oh yeah, there's
even on 4th down. Like, I'm going, man. Like, I'm just going. You know what? We going for the end zone. Like, I'm not kicking no field goal. Like, we gonna have to figure out a way to get in here. And I feel like another coach would have said, no, we can't have this. We can't be sitting in the goal line 4 or 5 plays and just not get in. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I understand that Trubisky may be hurt. It's blowing my mind that you don't put him in a situation in like the little zone read thing, like where they got to worry about you running, they got to worry about him running, and you can pull up off that and throw it sometimes. I don't care if you hurt. When we close to the end zone, like every quarterback does this. Like, it's an easier play to call because the defense has to worry about more than one option. It's like we threw it out of the bounds. We did a rollout to the short side of the field. Like, I wrote it down like this ain't middle school. In middle school, you roll out, the player get out flank, he has an easy touchdown. Like, no, man. Like, no. No one is thinking you're going to. No. I watched the what was that? The Clemson and North Carolina game. You know what they did at the end? Rolled out to the short side of the field. There's no space, man. There's just no space. It's uncomfortable when there's no space. You know that.
So
Come on.
that brings up the point, DJ. I mean, all season long, this offense has been struggling. Is it time to make a change at the offensive play caller? Obviously, Matt Nagy, again, second year head coach. I don't see it happening. He's gonna be. I mean, he's already shown he's stubborn, and that's probably how he's gotten to this point.
Well,
I don't see him handing it over, but there's got to be something. Whether
I'm gonna give you a
that's
secret.
Nagy saying, "Hey, you know what? It's whether it's Nagy unleashing it all and saying, "Hey, you know what? It's not me, it's Trubisky. You know what? We're going with Chase Daniel. He gives us the best chance to win." Or whether that's Matt Nagy coming to his senses and going, "Hey, you know what? It is on me. I'm not calling the right plays. Look at the players. Look at the talent that we have on this offense. We need to take our offense out of the same conversation as the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. That's for sure. Way too talented of an offense to be performing the way that they are, and maybe he does look in the mirror and hand off the play calling duties, or will he get this figured out? That I don't see really happening, at least not this season. What were you thinking?
The thing, and I'm gonna just give you a secret about this. Because if I'm the head coach and I relinquish play calling duty, we all got the headsets on. And before you make a play call, you know who you check with? You check with the head man, because I don't want gave you the job. And if you want a job when I leave here or good recommendations, like this is what it is. I remember when Marinelli got I think our defense may have struggled or like or somebody may have been hurt, and I think Lovey had to give up the defensive play calling or something. So Marinelli was a defensive play caller. And you can sit there. He'd be like, "Hey, Lovey, what you think about this?" "Yeah, I like it." Every single play. "Hey, you know what? I think I want this right here." Because it doesn't change. Oh, the new play call. Like, no, that it just don't work. Now, unless you just completely relinquish what you're going to do. But as a coordinator, I know what you want. Like, I know what you want. Honestly, as a player, I know kind of what plays you're going to call. And I'm going to do that because, I mean, you're the head guy. Like, you're not going to go against, like, what I want this offense to look like. Now, if you go to Helfrich, is it Helfrich?
Yeah.
I guess he got less experience. I mean, he did it at Oregon, but I mean, it's just my guy's faster than your guys. Call the run play, call the pass play. It ain't nothing really. Go really fast, call the pass play, call the run play. In this game, it's different because, like, they can run too. Like, they watch a lot of film too. They understand what you do good and what you don't do good.
I will say, though, that's how Nagy got his opportunity, was when Andy Reid handed over his play calling, or so that's what they say, and caught some steam there late in the season for the Chiefs, got onto like a 6-game winning streak, I think, and rolled into the playoffs. Obviously struggled in that playoff game against the Tennessee Titans, and Nagy kind of caught some heat on that, but so obviously anything can happen. But I mean, again, Nagy, you know what troubles me, DJ? I seen a tweet earlier from Jack Silverstein. He covers the Bears and Chicago sports for Windy City Gridiron, and he's absolutely right. I mean, he says something along the lines like, it's amazing how many people, including myself, being me, put so much faith in this Bears team with the lack of experience across the board, whether it's the lack of experience at general manager and Ryan Pace. Obviously, the John Fox hiring wasn't totally on him. Rumor has it that was a hire that was made above him, but Matt Nagy, that was all on him. That was his hire. So still a little bit of an inexperience there at GM. Then Matt Nagy, an unexperienced head coach, and then unexperienced quarterback, whether you talk about pro level or dating back to his college days. I just thought it was funny. So much unexperience at really like all three levels, at all three of the more important positions of the team. But yeah, I mean, just, now that's not too much of a question, though. Talking lack of experience, I'm tired of that excuse. I won't even hear that excuse anymore with the quarterback. Matt Nagy, I still kind of understand it because he's a season and a half still trying to figure his thing out. But again, it's not an excuse. It's quite unexcusable when looking at the talent that's on this team. And then Ryan Pace, I think he has set this team up to have success. At least with the players that he has on the field. But here they are, DJ 3-4, and they get set for the Philadelphia Eagles next week in Philadelphia. But before we look ahead to that, DJ, Mitchell Trubisky, does he give this Bears team the best chance to win? It looks like we know Chase Daniel has more experience in this offense dating back to his days in Kansas City with Andy Reid, with Matt Nagy, even dating back to his Philadelphia Eagles days as well. I'm not going to say the offense looked like a well-oiled machine with Daniel back there. It didn't. He is not a quality NFL starting quarterback. He's been a backup for 10-plus years for a reason. But I think you can make the argument when watching Daniel back there that this offense looked more like an NFL offense. It looked more consistent. They were moving the ball down the field where, again, Trubisky at times, I would say more times than not, he just looks lost playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Does Mitchell Trubisky give this team the best chance to win? I don't think they're going to bench him. I think they're going to play this thing out. Now, in the offseason, that's a totally different story. But does he truly – are the Bears setting the team up as a whole for failure starting Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback?
I say yes and no. The reason I say yes because to me it's they're not tailoring the offense to fit him. Like the Josh Allens and Lamar Jackson, like he's actually in that same. He's more athletic than he is arm-letic.
That's probably his biggest attribute is his athleticism.
Yeah, so he's more comfortable when he gets to run. He gets to beat his chest. He gets to do his little, I call it the little Mitchell walk whenever he get a first down. But they not putting him in that situation. I'm assuming because he's been injury prone. But if you're not gonna put him in a situation to succeed, then yeah, I mean it's a worst case scenario. Whenever he gets out the pocket, he seems more comfortable. Early in the year when he runs, when he was in college when he ran, he felt more comfortable. If he does run, it puts the defense in a bind. Last year he had almost 600 yards or so. Like that's a lot. And I don't know what he has this year, but it ain't close. Like you got to just throw caution to the wind sometimes, man, and just in order to put him in a situation. Lamar Jackson talked about, I'm going to be throwing the ball all the time. Like, no, he is throwing it, but he is running a hell of a lot. Design runs. When they're not designs, he getting busy with, I know what I do best. Even like Michael Vick, I run better, and eventually he developed hey, I can sit back here and just chunk it all the time. If you ain't there yet, you ain't there yet. It takes some quarterbacks some time. But you have to me, the coach has to put him in a better situation, though. Every time that my dynamic players in the game, you run in some out of the backfield to him or screen to him, it's hard on me because they know what I'm doing. If you put Patterson in, he's doing this, you just know what I'm doing. It's it just seems that if you know what I'm doing, then it's gonna be harder on me as a quarterback. He's not a guy that's going to try to fit it in tight windows. He's just not that guy. He's not going to extra anticipate the guy coming open. He's going to wait until he gets open. Is that bad? Yeah, sometimes it is. But you know who you have at quarterback, and you're not setting them up. You're just not setting them up to succeed. With Chase Daniel come in, if he has time, he'll anticipate and do things like that. But it's still a drop-off Because if it wasn't, he wouldn't be a backup. He'll be the starting guy. For me, what Nagy has, you got to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, man, call over to the office, Kansas City. Hey, let me speak to Mr. Reed. Real, can I speak to Mr. Reed? Hey, man, I appreciate everything. That I like I need your help, and I promise, and I'm sure he'll help him. Like, hey, listen, this is what you're doing. Like everything that when you watch, and the offense is supposed to be the same. That's what blows your mind. Like in Kansas City, somebody is always open. That's concepts. That's play calling. That's not, oh, they running something different. Like, because a lot of teams will play man against them. Like, that's play calling. Like, we never have anybody open. That's play calling. Now, is he going to miss a couple of guys? Yes. But like Gabriel, like he'll go in motion, he'll do this, he'll do that. How often does he go deep? Like I seen him in Atlanta. How often did he go deep? It seemed like just about every play. He went deep or he caught wide receiver screens. He did different things. But most of the time, you run a 4-2 what? Oh, I won't see that. Your name is Turbo. Press R2 and throw him the rock. That's it. Like find a situation or a formation where I can set my receivers up to get to do what they do the best. Like with Cohen, if you line him up outside, like they know you're throwing like he's not in to block for the running back. If both running backs in, what is it? It's a pass. He'll get the ball and he'll have 3 carries, 2 catches. He had a nice catch up the seam. And even when people know what he's doing, he still finds a way to somehow make something out of nothing. But when your running back is the running back and he can be a receiver, like it puts the defense in a bind. Like, who do I put in? Do I put a DB or a linebacker? Like, that's what you want. I want the matchup. Why is Christian McCaffrey so good? Because he's a running back. Then when he comes out the backfield, a linebacker has to guard him. It's not a cornerback. Patrick Peterson is not guarding McCaffrey. He looks awesome. Like, it's just what it is. Like, you create it. We seen New England do it time and time again. The running back comes out. If Tom Brady can't do nothing, he get credit for throwing 2-yard passes to the running back. But they'll talk about him after the game like he threw the ball down the field 140 yards. No, it was a mismatch. And he threw it to the mismatch. The coach created the mismatch. Boom, and they got him the ball. It's just fascinating to watch it and just be like, we couldn't. Nothing better than that? You know what I mean? I can't even tell you of a drive that I remember. Like, we might have had one. Of a drive where I remember just like, man, that was some good play calling. Like, I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, there may have been 1 or 2 against Minnesota, but again, that was with Chase Daniel.
But against Minnesota, what was happening? Tariq Cohen was Anthony Ball was. Oh my God,
right.
He was not
right.
Listen, they brought the safety Harrison. The safety had to come from deep to double team this cat. Like that's like coach, listen to me. That's that whole thing. Like he said, I see him ghosts. Like no, like I can't see him at all. Like I can't guard him. I need help. Coach, look on the field like, hey, yeah, coach, we up top. We got a problem in Houston. He can't guard it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you have the tools. You have the tools. You got the toolbox, but you just looking and you just lost the screw that you need. Like man, I got every tool in here, but I got a nut loose. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It's hard to fathom that. Like one drive, even the Browns them put together 2 or 3 drives and be like, yeah, you know what, nah, Freddie Kicks is maybe all right. Now, a lot of young coaches this year are struggling. This is a trend. Let's be honest. Struggling. But even like you said, going towards next year, I think he's still the guy. I still think you draft the guy. Hey, you the guy. I tell you the guy. You go in camp as a guy. We're going to give you all the reps you need to get. Man, we drafting a guy. First one. First one we can get. Matter of fact, we gonna draft one this year. I would draft a quarterback every year. It makes sense.
Ryan Pace is
Gotta pay
on
somebody
record.
anyway.
Pace is on record saying that, I believe right after he was hired by the Bears, he's on record saying that he's going to draft a quarterback every year. And since the day he was hired, he's drafted one quarterback, and that quarterback being Mitchell Trubisky. I agree with you. Look at New England. I mean, they had a wealth of quarterbacks at just last year. At one point with Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jacoby Brissett. Even if you're not going to use those guys, you can trade them for draft equity.
The backups are all right. All right. Yeah.
Brissett's lighting it up, man. Brissett's lighting it up in Indy, especially the circumstances.
I
mean,
right.
he just found out he was going to be the starter in like 10 days.
Let's okay. You know what? We'll agree to disagree with Brissett.
Hey,
Garoppolo. No, he's not lighting it. He's not.
No. Hey, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. His team's undefeated, man.
Oh, I am. I'm giving it to the defense, and for those 3 wins we got, I'm giving it to the defense as well. Give credit where credit is due.
Looking back at the Bears team, DJ, again, this is I think it's safe to say this is on Matt Nagy. This is on the offense. I agree with you. I think Nagy at this point, again, we still have another half of the season to go. If it continues to tread this way, maybe it's a different story. But yeah, I got to think Nagy returns next year as well. Again, last year was last year, but it seemed like that was something that they could really build on. And although this year so far, halfway through the season has been a struggle, it seems like Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy do gel together very well. And but at this point, I don't see any way they hold on to Mitchell Trubisky. I think they certainly do look in another direction, whether that's a veteran, whether they draft somebody. I'm not sure, but I will. I would personally be pretty upset if next season Mitchell Trubisky is this team's starting quarterback. In the very least,
so soon, huh?
In the very least, they have to bring in some competition. And so, I mean. Hey, we're what 32 games into his career. I mean that lack of experience.
That's the thing, though. So
hear me out, DJ. Jay, how would Jay Cutler do in this Bears offense? I mean, not necessarily the athlete.
They kept him from a long time, and he struggled just about every year. You know what I mean? Now he would have like splash games, and we think you like, man, he got talent, and then he would go and throw 4 interceptions the next game. Like he did that
in one half.
His whole time there. And for sure, my whole time there. And when I left and watched it, we did it again. And then he went to the Dolphins for like $10 million and did it again. Like time and time again. Some quarterback just take time. I think Eli Manning was the same way. He took a little while to get like going. I think it might have been his like 4th year before he kind of really got in a groove of it. And Rodgers didn't play until his about 4th year. He sat for a while. So now what's happening is a lot of the young quarterbacks are doing good because I got a college style offense. You come in, I got a coach that caters to my style, and that's what it is. Like, how can I cater to your style? Remember when we talked about Kansas City? I said Matt Moore would look okay. He looked all right, right?
He looked all right.
I'm just telling. It's like certain people. But now, in his defense, he's looked okay every time he stepped in the game. Let's be for real. Like, he's always like performed. But like an Andy Reid, like whoever he has had has been good, from Vic to Cobb to McNabb to whoever stepped in. When I say Cobb, you be like, Cobb, what did he like? He get out there and he was got there getting buckets. It's just certain people know how to set certain people up. For instance, in New England, once Tom goes down, the backup normally does good. I.e., Matt Castle, when he got paid. I think they went 11-5. I think they missed the playoffs, but he was phenomenal. And then he left and was like, ay, like, what is this? Like, ay, like, huh? Like, so, and I used to, as a player, you think like, man, coaching don't matter that much. Like, no, man, like, in this league where everybody can run, everybody can jump, everybody can throw, you gotta, like, you watch film every day. Man, we even watch film, and we ain't just talking about it. So I know they gotta watch it. If they playing it, coach is what they tell. I'm telling the coach tell their wife, man, it's just we in season. You gonna have to holler at me after the season over with. And that's how a lot of them think. Like you watch film 24/7. You go to sleep with a clicker in your hand. So it's to me as a guru, as an offensive guy, you got to figure it out. Bye week couldn't figure it out. Like, man, I'm going to sleep. Me as a coach, man, listen, if we lose, I'm just watching videos. Like, man, I'm trying to figure out something. What drill can I do? Like, that's me as a JV girls basketball. I'm just thinking, like, what can I do, man? Imagine if I got paid $6, $7, $8, $10 million a year for it. Like, I'd be like, shit. Hey, listen. No. We got to do this. We gonna do something. We gonna switch up something. We gonna switch up play calls. We gonna go, outside the box. Something. Do something that I ain't used. I don't know. Something has to give. But I just don't see it, man. Just don't see it.
So
but I think you give him time, though.
DJ,
I think you give him another year.
DJ,
Let him sign his contract. Give him another year.
Well, I don't know about that, but DJ, this offense has been on par with the Miami Dolphins, who are winless, the New York Jets, who have one win, and coming off of a nasty loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then you got the Chicago Bears. At what point does this, and I think I've asked you this earlier in the season, and now I'll revisit the question, at what point will this locker room separate? I mean, it seems like they got some pretty good leaders. Khalil Mack, I think Akeem Hicks. I think they're really missing his presence. But again, we'll see if he comes back from IR later in the season. They seem to have some really good leadership there. Whether Danny Trevathan, you could throw some names out. Eddie Jackson. Again, that's on the defensive side of the ball. Offense has some leaders as well. Allen Robinson, again, probably the only guy on the offense side of the football that you can say week in and week out has been the most consistent and most impressive piece on the offensive side of the football. And then, of course, you got a head coach that, at least what he's saying, he's saying players are coming up to him this week. Hey, coach, we're going to turn this around. We're going to get this win. They really seem to be driven on this let's go 1-0 this week type of mindset. So it seems like the team is still together. It seems like they still believe. But and again, I know I'm looking at this as a fan, as somebody that's not a part of the team, kind of from a far away. But, looking at the offense, looking at the quarterback they have under center, it's hard for me to find belief. I know they're on the team, so maybe I guess that's the reason why. But I don't know. I mean, I know everybody just looks at it. It's their job. They got to do their job. If they do their job to the way that they're used to doing it, then I know they feel like they should be fine. And I can understand the defensive thinking of that, and many of the offensive players thinking of that as well. But it's just hard for me to find any faith in Trubisky and thinking that he will some point this season turn it around. So you already said you don't think this locker room is going to separate.
Well, the faith about it is last year he played the same way. He just had like one of those.
You know how these receivers though are, DJ. I mean, Allen Robinson maybe not. He seems like but I mean, you got to think at some point Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, who actually had a pretty good game against the Los Angeles Chargers. You got to think these guys are. I mean, I'm not even get on the tight ends. They have no room to be upset. But some of these receivers and even some of the running backs, I can see like a guy like Tariq Cohen with his role. I mean, you don't think these guys are getting upset at Trubisky missing them 8 yards down the field?
I think in the moment they may be upset, but they like as a player, like like if I miss you, you know who's upset the most? Like I am. Like people are doubting me like every single day. Like they're not worried about you being fast and being turbo. They're worried about me being me. You know what I mean? Like if anybody's under pressure, it's him. Like everywhere he goes, and people are brash, man. Like, oh, you go out for a restaurant, like they don't look at you like, are you going to throw a touchdown this week, sir? And they'll say that. Like, yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? So he's going to get it from all angles. I think the best thing you can do is just infuse confidence in him. Like we've seen in the league, like that's what it is. Like you're messing with high level athletes and mentally, like they have to be high level. And once you take the confidence away from them, it's bad. Andrew Luck and the shoulder thing, like, oh, can I throw? Can I not? He's throwing a small ball. It's like, what is the difference? I don't know. Go from RG3 from his first year, he could throw every pass in the book. He'd throw passes and turn his back. And then the second year, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, he came out the injury. He didn't have the same, like, you know what I mean? He didn't have the same thing about him. So now everything is like second guess. Everything is slow. You know, everything is behind. Brown, same way. Baker Mayfield last year, man, he get in the end zone, throw it, do his little Conor McGregor walk. Now what he doing? She throwing the ball in the dirt. Look like Tim Tebow out there. Or Johnny Manziel. Like, so whatever you got to do, man, you got to play mind games with your players. And at the quarterback position, you just got to figure out, hey, man, how can I get you out of there? Like, you in your head, how can I get in there and pull you out of there? Because right now you just overthinking everything. Like, my passes got to be perfect. My reads got to be perfect. Every time he doesn't do something right or they get a 3 and out, he look like it's the end of the world every single play.
So get
Now,
this, DJ. Mitch actually, he met the media today, Trubisky did, and he actually said, and a lot of people were crushing him for it. I don't really understand it because it was really interesting to me, and I don't see a problem with it. He actually said that he yesterday watched not the game film, but the actual game that was played on television. He watched the TV version just for the fact he wanted to see what his body language was like and how he was, shown on the sideline. And he said that he needs to be a better job at just being a leader, being more vocal, striking more conversations with his teammates and all of that. So like you said, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's having fun out there. I mean, he kind of even said the same thing. You know, he said that it looks like he's a little too focused per se out there, and that maybe he needs to, let it loose a little bit more, and again find the fun in the game for himself, Mitchell Trubisky. That is.
yeah. Now, when you say it, the thing is, people can take it two different ways. They'll take it away like, man, he don't even like playing football. He don't see it as fun. Like, no, like he has like being a quarterback in a big city, i.e., like Chicago or New York or now teams in LA. When you struggle, oh my God, the nation struggles. Like they gonna talk about you. Every channel they gonna talk about you. You know why? Because your defense is awesome. And you're losing games because you're not doing awesome. And it's just hard, man. Like when you're a player and you missing plays after play and you supposed to be the man and you can't, for some reason, I can't stop him. Same way Odell Beckham probably feel like, man, I'm supposed to be the guy and I can't even get over 100 yards, man. Like, what is it? Like it's a lot on your shoulders, and when you do something good, it's like you're not happy. You're like, just like, thank you, God. Thank you. Like, oh, man, I needed that. Like, it ain't like, oh, I'm just having fun. I'm just out here in the backyard throwing. And that's how you wanted to feel. But it's hard to do that, man, when you're losing. It's hard to do that when the passes are incomplete. So now when the passes are complete, man, you just relieved. Like, yeah, all right, let's go try to do it again. And now your emotions go back down to like, man, I got to do it again. Now, my thing is, like, if he don't like to play, I don't like it. Like, tell him. That thing about color, like, he ain't like to play, he ain't like it. You know he ain't like it. Like, listen, like, this is your job. This is your livelihood on the line because they going to say it's you. Before they say it's him, they going to say it's you because he the young genius. You the guy that didn't have enough starts in college. You the guy that's injury prone. You the guy that at camp didn't play well, or you the guy that didn't play in the preseason. You the guy that he told to step the fuck up. It wasn't him. He told that to you. He said it was your offensive coordinator said it's in your head. So they saying it's on you. So you got to figure it out. And what you said in the interview was, it's in my head. You confirm what they said, it's my fault. So if it's my fault, then I'm going home and he's staying. That's what it is. So when I go home, I either be a backup and be Chase Daniels, or I just kind of figure it out. The thing is, it take some people more time. This is a different NFL. They don't want to give you time. Like me and you can do this show forever. Like we can mess up and then we can get better. They don't do that in the NFL. First time we mess up, guess what? Nah, y'all can't do that no more. Then people talk about it like, man, why'd y'all do that again? What you trying to do? Like, are you trying to destroy the world with this show? Like, come on, like it's awful. But it's the NFL, and that's what I liked about it. It's like, man, you don't know. Like, I can't tell you that. Did I think I'd still be playing? Yeah. Can I still play now? Yeah. But I don't. It's been like 6 years. Like it blew my. It's been people playing now that I'd be like, man, how's he still playing? Or
has it really been 6 years?
Yeah. So it's one of those things, man. You in the right place at the right time. Take advantage of it. Have a good time. I was in Carolina with Josh Norman. He was awful. I like him. He was a cool cat. And then all of a sudden, you play good at the right time. And that quarterback, that's one of the things you got to just be consistent at all times. If I'm on defense, I make one Pro Bowl, they'll always put Pro Bowl in front of my name. Now, the quarterback is like, oh, he made a Pro Bowl. And why? He just because of that. Like, you got to do it every single year because we've seen quarterbacks. Tom Brady. I throw Phillip Rivers in there. I don't like him. He's terrible, but whatever. They'll keep him as long as he can. Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. Like, a lot of quarterbacks play for a long time at this era, at this level. And then you have other guys that they can do it for 1 game or 2 games, and they'll get the Fitzpatrick magic, and then they'll be like, "Ooh, David Blaine made him disappear." Like how I did that. Like it's just how it's just real fragile, and they're not gonna give him time to make it happen. So he has this season to audition. This is his whole audition. Now, as a leader, you go up to him and tell him, "Hey, man, like it's fine, man. Like, hey, man, if this don't work, man, you gonna make it happen. Just, hey, man, just throw it. I'm not gonna pout, whatever. Hey, just throw the ball. We're gonna make it happen. You have to, as a leader, you got to go and just talk to him, man. Tap him on the shoulder, because if he's in Chicago watching TV, oh my God, he gonna have to turn it off because they killing him. Newspaper killing him. National news killing him. Like, he's gonna get it from he go outside, whoever stay beside him, they killing him. He got a girlfriend, whoever, like, hey, man, because my wife is like this. Like, if you play bad, like, my wife be like, I came to the game. Like, you can't look like that when I'm at the game. Like, I'm like, no, you're right. Babe, Mitt, if you play like that again, you can't get none of this tonight. He's getting it from every angle. Like, it is seeping through his skin, man. That's hard. That's a hard spot to be in. Now, if he comes up out of it, I think it'll make him a better player, because going through something like that will make you a better player, better person. But football, man, is not forgiving, man. It's not. Now, golf, he kind of picked it up, and they wanted to throw him away. He picked it up out of nowhere. You got to make it happen, man. Because the season, if this thing go down the drain, the talk going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. We're going to see this guy here. And it's going to be somebody coming to all season. I think he's not going to go anywhere because, I think what is going to be, a 3rd year?
Next year will be his 4th, but me personally, I just wouldn't see, if you bring in competition, you're already telling them, hey, unless that's your last line of defense, if that's your last way to motivate him. He hasn't
had it, though. Like, I don't think Chase Daniels had never been competition. Like, something like that will push you.
Well, they did. Now, it wasn't competition. Obviously, they drafted him to be the franchise guy, even when they signed Mike Glennon. But they were out and they said that they did not want Trubisky to play at all that rookie season of his.
But it was a competition, and he showed up. That's my point. He the one that did that. Like, he played his way.
I don't know, man. I think Glennon played his way out of that position.
Well, no, but it was the preseason. If you
Right,
remember the
right.
preseason, he came in and he was like, huh, and it was like, oh, like no, kind of like the same way Daniel Jones did. He was doing that in the preseason. It was like, no, this cat can play. Now, once Glennon struggles, it's like, oh yeah, we knew you could play. Same way with Eli, like, nah, you know what? Got to put the young cat in. It's just different when you know the guy behind you. Man, listen, the guy behind you can take your seat forever. It's a different feeling, man. Just different.
So, DJ, before we preview this next game, just looking at the remainder schedule, and
Ooh-wee.
it's looking tough, man. I mean, we knew that this stretch here, as you said, DJ, you said this Chargers game was a must win, and I think we both echoed that same sentiment a game before against the New Orleans Saints. And obviously it escalated last week against the Chargers after they dropped the Saints game. Now they dropped the Chargers game as well. So, I mean, we're going to be in this must-win territory until they win a game and or until they knock themselves officially out of the playoff picture. But again, 3-4, and 8 of their 9 remaining games, DJ, are against teams with winning records. The only team that does not have a winning record is the New York Giants, who they see on November 24th at New York. No, excuse me, that'll be at Soldier Field. So besides the Giants, 8 of their next 9 are against teams with winning records, and they start off against the Philadelphia Eagles next week, DJ. Is it? I mean, have we seen enough of this Bears team to kind of already rule them out for the division, for a wild card spot, playing in this very tough NFC North division and seeing the struggles that they've gone through, specifically on the offensive side of the football? Have we seen enough to rule this team out for the playoffs already?
I don't think so. I think for the division, just because with what Green Bay is doing and running away with it, I think the next time they play, they'll beat Minnesota. You can beat Detroit twice. And then when they get cold, I mean, if they can run the ball, they have the formula for cold weather football. Because everybody the ball get a little bit harder, the wind get a little bit faster. Can I run the ball? You know what I mean? Can I play defense? And I think from what we showed last week, I mean, yeah, you can do both of those things. It's hard to say. I don't want to just say, oh, yeah, they're not good enough to do it, but I think they are. I think them and the Eagles are in the same boat. They've played good at times. They played bad at other times. I think this game is important because in the NFC, you gotta make sure you get your wins up. That wild card, because this is what this is. This game right here is a game for the wild card. The one who wins is probably going to have a chance to make it. The one who loses probably won't have a chance to make it to the wild card. So I think every game from here on out, because it's Green Bay 8-1 or 7-1.
7-1, I believe.
7-1. So you're gonna, and I don't see them with the way they playing. I don't see them slowing down. Now I think we should split with them, but other than that, we don't better split with nobody else in the division. You're gonna have to start rolling. Now, normally 10 wins will get you in. And I think even this year, normally, I mean, I think it's a possible. It's a chance. Now, still, the offense is going to have to put together 3 or 4 drives a game. It doesn't have to be every single drive. You just have to put enough drives together to where you get in the end zone. Because last week, if you get in the end zone, kicker don't have to move it to the left or the right, the up, to the back. You win the game. So it's going to be hard because every game, we're going to be in it. for the most part, other than like the Saints game. Like every game you gonna be in it. We talked about. I said he like Tim Tebow. He gonna get you down there to kick a field goal. You just gotta hit it. We didn't have Matt Prater last week. Tim Tebow had Prater. Like you just because the defense itself is gonna make sure the game is gonna be close. But when your offense struggles, you're gonna get the other offense a lot of chances to score on your defense, which is gonna make it tough on them as well. So I think there's a chance. We got to see it play out, but I feel like this one. I think this was a must-win game. But goodness gracious, an NFC matchup, like it's you have to, because this is another team that can keep you from being in the playoffs. That's trying to get in the wild. I don't know what the standings is now, but the teams that's in the wild card, I mean, the records are pretty decent, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Again, just looking at the NFC North, DJ, Packers 7-1, Vikings 6-2, the Lions 3-1. They just kind of get in their own way.
The Vikings will probably be in the wild card at this particular time, right?
Yeah, Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks, who I believe are also 6-2.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. So after the division, it goes by like record or something like that, right?
Right.
So it would, you're gonna have to get some wins. Like that's what you're gonna have to stack win. I think it's gonna be at least 10. And with them teams with them records, you can knock Minnesota down. Minnesota gotta play Green Bay again.
Yeah.
So I mean it can turn fast. And I know, all right, I've seen it. It can turn fast, but you just gotta put a couple drives together. I believe in you, Mitch. I believe in you, baby. Come on now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said this one here is a must-win. If they win this one, I'll give them a little bit of hope, DJ. But with that said, I don't see them winning it. I mean, I have to see it to believe it. They're traveling on the road to play in Philly, a very tough place to play. And, I mean, they ran exceptionally well against the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, I'll make the argument they probably still didn't run the football enough. I mean, they were tearing them up in the run game. David Montgomery, 27 rushes, 135 yards, and a touchdown. I'd have liked to have seen him get maybe 30, 32 touches. And I'd have still liked to have seen Mike Davis, maybe like you said, in the goal in that last drive, get a veteran out there, a bigger back that's hard to bring down, have him go in there, get you 2-3 yards, get you a closer field goal, and see what happens. Maybe get on the right side of the hash. But again, that's behind us. Bears are now 3-4. DJ, they need to win this game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the Jordan Howard revenge game. Jordan Howard has had a pretty solid season there to start with the Philadelphia Eagles. He and the rookie second-round draft pick out of Penn State, Miles Sanders, they both had a huge game in the 30-13 victory against the Buffalo Bills on the road at Buffalo. Here we go. Jordan Howard, 445 rushing yards this season, 5 touchdowns. There's no doubt he's licking his chops. There's no doubt he's looking forward to this game. He wants to make this Bears team realize that maybe they made a mistake on letting him go. And obviously the Bears will try and do everything in their power to stop that. Carson Wentz kind of having a shaky season, of course, coming off of the season-ending injury that he suffered last season, so still trying to find his groove with the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a team that in general has been really beat up, specifically in their secondary. So again, if this offense is going to have any success, this is the right opponent to do so, at least in the passing game. We'll see if Nagy, we'll see if Mitch Trubisky can step up and show some different signs. Maybe bring out a few different plays. But again, I think it's Tom Waddle from the Waddle and Sylvie show here in ESPN Chicago. DJ, he coined the phrase "less cute, more nasty." Kind of tired of seeing all the cute play calls, the new different things that Nagy likes to bring out on the offensive side of the ball, and just do what works. And I know at one point Matt Nagy was quoted in saying, "I wasn't here to run the I formation." Well, we've seen the I formation quite a bit against the Los Angeles Chargers last week, and that seemed to have worked the best. So I would like to see some more of these simplistic plays as long as they work. But I'll give my prediction right now, DJ. I don't think the Chicago Bears are going into Philadelphia and winning this ball game as much as I would like to see that happen. You're coming off of a loss, and this is all out of the bye. You're coming off of a loss against a very beaten up New Orleans Saints team at home. Coming off of a loss against a very struggling Los Angeles Chargers team at home. And now you go on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles team, who the last couple of games seem to have maybe found something. Again, they beat a pretty good Buffalo Bills team on the road, and they did it pretty. They did it pretty handily. That is, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Doug Peterson, Matt Nagy, there is some familiarity dating back to their Kansas City days together, so we'll see. And of course, this is a rematch of the playoff game last year, the Cody Parkey double doink game in which the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Bears at Soldier Field. But here we are again, coming off of a game in which there was a couple missed field goals for the Bears, and in which they lost the game by a field goal, by 1 point, that is, against the Chargers last week. I think the Bears fall to 3-5, DJ, and all hope will be lost. And if you thought this week in Chicago TV and radio was bad for the Bears, next week will probably be even worse.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna get it, and the reason I think so, just because the thing Nagy does well is he's a rah-rah guy. And I think he can get them to understand, the importance of the game. And the Eagles secondary is beat up. They run a lot of one high safety, or sometimes they might not have a safety at all. They are extra aggressive. I mean, I would get in the eye run, flea flickers, all kind of stuff. when your corners are beat up, I get in the eye because, the safeties will come play action deep. Gabriel Robinson, I'm going to test the DBs. Even I think the one Mills who came back, I think something wrong with his arm. He only used his right arm. I'm going to test that. A lot of times when I realized we throw the ball over the middle of the field a lot, when it's one high safety, I don't think I ever seen Trubisky throw a comeback route, which is weird in an NFL setting. Comeback route, he normally throw back shoulder. So outside and when it's one high safety, it's just it's man coverage on the outside. It's like one-on-ones at practice. So it's going to be a lot of opportunity. I think you throw a couple short routes out there, a couple hitches, comebacks, and then hit them because their corners will go for it. I watched the Cowboys game, man. It was to stop the running back. Literally they had, it seemed like 8, 9 cats in the ball. The DBs are there's no help, nowhere. And when you're thinking about Trubisky, what are teams saying? No, man, listen, we got to go and, Montgomery had a good game. We got to stop the run. Let him beat you. He's not going to beat you. That's what they're going to say to me. They've said this every week. He's not going to beat you. Don't worry about it. He's not going to beat you. We're going to make him beat you. Stop the run. He's not going to beat you. I think there's no way we allow that, man. We should. I think. It's surprisingly, and I thought it was going to be last week, but then again, with the Chargers, they got a veteran defense. They play some zone, confuse you a little bit. And these kids out here just line up and man. Now, what Dallas did was they manipulated everything. They would be in the eye. They would motion the tight end out. Oh, you motion them back in. Oh, then, man, you kind of know it or whatever. Whenever 23 is in the slot, he's a safety. It may look like man, but it's really just cover 3 on his side because he's a safety. He's not out there to guard or corner. You'll know when it's man and something. You'll just know. And I only watched one game. Well, I watched the Buffalo. It's the same stuff. You going to know what it is. And you just going to have to not even, put it on the money. Just don't overthrow it and it'll be pass interference. Literally, the game is set up for you to win on the offensive side. We're going to make this thing happen. I'm going to go 24-21. You know what? And Panero might even redeem himself. That's what's gonna happen.
You know what, DJ? I'll go Eagles 20. I'll go Eagles 20. Bears 18. Eddie Pinheiro double doinks a field goal as time expires, loses the game, and no. It really, realistically, I think it will be a close game. I don't see it being a blowout like that Saints game was in the second half at least. But yeah, I just again until I see it, I gotta go Eagles. I mean the rest of this schedule is gonna be really tough. I don't think they're gonna lose out. They'll probably pull out a few more. I certainly
Well, the
hope
thing,
so.
especially this one, and forgot to say that. Now if Jackson comes back, that does make it different. He's been hurt, so if he doesn't play, because they don't have a deep threat if he doesn't play, but if he does, that changes. I mean, I still think we'll win, but that makes their offense much more dynamic than it was before he was injured. Because
Yeah,
right now they got Alshon Jeffrey, and the only person you got to worry about is really Ertz.
right. And
Um,
I think Jackson is back practicing, and he's at least as of now questionable to return. And you mentioned the beat up secondary. Avonte Maddox, one of their cornerbacks, I think is practicing as well. He's been out since week 2, so it looks like the Eagles are starting to get a little bit more healthy. We'll see how that works out in their favor. DJ, I will go Eagles 23, Bears 17. I think the Eagles get the victory over the Chicago Bears, and the Bears will fall to 3-5 to start the year, and it will be
ouch.
another fun week to break down the game and to recap all the fun and the upsetting performance of the Chicago Bears offense. But yeah, I think that's going to be the way the cookie crumbles, DJ. But that'll wrap up tonight's show, my friend. As always, appreciate you taking out the time. Always appreciate everybody tuning in, watching, listening, whether you're listening live on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, or on the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast. Just search the Chris and DJ Show with former Chicago Bears defensive back DJ Moore. I'm Chris Shanafel. As always, thanks everybody for tuning in, and until next time.